I have voted for Dems and Republicans. And so you're kind of luring me in with your attitude and your bipartisanship and your just optimism and so on. However, I'm almost a single issue voter now on the trans thing and children. And I don't know if you saw, I asked the candidates about this at the last presidential debate on the GOP side, but it's a hard no for me on somebody who would allow these surgical procedures to be done on children who are under 18 in terms of chopping off body parts from kids who can't even smoke a cigarette. And I also am very much against puberty blockers straight into cross-sex hormones, because even the trans community admits this is causing sterility. This is causing sterility, infertility. For minors, they can't possibly consent to their own sterilization. And I think you're on the opposite side of me on this. So persuade me why I should still consider you.
Well, here's how I feel. And look, I know that most of your listeners, if not all, and you as well, care. We have hearts. We care about human beings. We don't want to destroy lives, and we want to be empathetic. I'm the father of two wonderful daughters. My youngest daughter, Pia, is a gay woman. And I have particular empathy for people who have been oppressed or shuttered or kept out or closeted. And I've never walked in the shoes of a queer person, of a trans person, of someone who's facing bipolar disorder, whatever it might be. And they've never walked in my shoes. So generally, I lead with love. And unless it affects another human being, I tend to say I think it's something the government should stay out of. The government should stay out of women's bodies. The government should stay out of my house and out of my bedroom, out of my bathroom. That's how I see it. But as it relates to your question specifically, I will answer it. I don't believe that children under the age of 18 who cannot buy firearms, who cannot buy beer, who cannot do a lot of things in the United States of America, should be able to make such consequential, life-changing decisions until a certain age. And I do think maybe that is the common ground, that you can have empathy, you can have love, you can have understanding, and you can have support. But when it comes to making decisions that will really have significant repercussions, I do think a certain age is totally reasonable.
What's the age?
Do it for driving.
What's the age? Majority? 18?
Well, I think this is, by the way, I'm glad you asked that question, because at the end of the day, we're using these arbitrary ages that I would argue are both hypocritical in many cases and incongruent. But we're one of the only countries in the world, by the way, that allows you to drive before you're allowed to drink, right? Wouldn't it be a little bit more reasonable for kids in this country to grow up not thinking alcohol is something you go get bombed on when you turn 21, whereas you actually appreciate its effects, you understand it, you might enjoy a glass of wine with family when you're a teenager, and then you learn how to drive afterwards, like most reasonable countries do. I don't know if the age is 18.
You don't know.
Let me just say this.
Lower than 18?
18, look at 18 is usually, and 21 are the two ages we consider to be threshold ages in this country. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an attorney, I'm not the parent of a trans child. So I don't believe that, frankly, I should be telling you what that age should be. What I'm telling you is that as president, on issues of great consequence and of great challenge, this is an example of how I would lead. Bring together a table of parents, of trans children, of trans adults, of doctors, and hear perspectives on both sides about what makes sense and whether or not the government should get involved. Those are the fundamental questions.
Before you appoint that table of people, please, let's talk. Because what's happening right now in the medical community is they've been completely captured by activists, and including the American Psychiatric Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, even the Endocrinology Association has been captured. And you're seeing more and more detransitioners come out and sue these groups, sue the doctors. They've been so wronged. Big news from Bonner Wines. This is only for true adventure seekers who are looking for more in their wine drinking experience than your grocery store big box wines. The Bonner Private Wine Partnership is releasing a wine so rare, it sells out practically every time it's been available. They invite you to come on an extraordinary journey to a remote vineyard where a never-before imported gem has wine enthusiasts everywhere raving. Picture this: altitudes of up to 9,000 feet. Grapes defy nature's harshest challenges up there, thriving somehow in poor soil, enduring extreme UV rays, facing thin atmosphere and volatile temperature swings. The result? This one-of-a-kind extreme altitude Malbec. Now, I have arranged special access for my listeners to get a bottle of this rare wine. Here's how. Visit Bonner, BONNER, privatewines.com/MK and become a member of the Bonner Private Wine Partnership. But act fast, you don't want to miss your chance. Visit BonnerPrivateWines.com/MK now for wine at 50% off plus free shipping. BonnerPrivateWines.com/MK today to get your wine delivered directly to your doorstep. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.